What if I told you that within the next few minutes you could create a switch inside your mind, a switch capable of replacing fear with confidence, anxiety with peace, and doubt with certainty? There is a hidden language that your mind understands better than words. It speaks through feelings, images, repeated experiences, and small signals that most people never notice. Every day, without realizing it, you are sending instructions to your subconscious mind. Some of these instructions empower you while others quietly reinforce fear, hesitation, and limitation. Think about how quickly your emotional state can change. A familiar song begins to play, and suddenly you are transported back to a moment from years ago. You hear someone's voice, and instantly you feel encouraged, comforted, or perhaps even discouraged. A certain place, a smell, or a simple object can awaken emotions that seemed long forgotten. These reactions happen automatically because your mind is constantly connecting experiences with emotional responses. It records impressions and creates patterns. And once these patterns are established, they begin influencing your behavior without asking for your permission. This is why many people struggle to create lasting change. They try to force themselves to think positively while their subconscious mind continues responding to old emotional programs. They repeat affirmations, set ambitious goals, and promise themselves that tomorrow will be different. Yet they continue experiencing the same fears, the same doubts, and the same disappointments. The problem is not a lack of desire. The problem is that the subconscious mind responds more strongly to emotionally charged signals than to ordinary thoughts. Fortunately, this process works in both directions. If the mind can learn limiting responses through repetition and emotional intensity, it can also learn empowering responses through the same principles. The subconscious mind is always listening, always observing, and always adapting. It does not argue with what you repeatedly impress upon it. It simply accepts the information and begins producing results that match those internal instructions. Imagine having the ability to consciously teach your mind to associate specific signals with feelings of confidence, peace, determination, and success. Imagine being able to access those emotions whenever you need them most, not by waiting for inspiration to arrive, but by intentionally activating a mental pattern that you created yourself. This means you no longer become a victim of random emotional reactions. Instead, you become the person who chooses which emotional states deserve to dominate your life. The moment you understand that your mind responds to signals, everything changes. You stop identifying yourself with temporary feelings. You stop believing that anxiety defines you or that uncertainty controls your future. You begin to realize that emotions are not permanent identities. They are learned responses, and what has been learned can also be retrained. The mind is not your enemy. It is a powerful instrument waiting for clear direction. And when you learn to communicate with it effectively, you unlock possibilities that once seemed beyond your reach. Before you can direct the power of your subconscious mind, you must first give it something clear and consistent to recognize. The mind learns through repetition and association. It remembers experiences not only by what happened, but by how intensely you felt them. This is why a simple physical action, when connected with a powerful emotional experience, can become a trigger that awakens the same feelings again and again. The action you choose does not need to be complicated. In fact, the simpler it is, the more effective it becomes. It could be pressing your thumb and index finger together, gently touching your wrist, placing your hand over your heart, or lightly clenching your fist. The movement itself possesses no special power. Its strength comes from the meaning you assign to it and the emotional energy you repeatedly connect with it. Think of it as creating a private language between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Every time you perform this gesture while experiencing a deeply positive state, you are sending a message. You are telling your inner mind that this movement represents confidence, calmness, determination, or success. At first, the connection may seem weak, almost insignificant, but the subconscious mind does not need dramatic efforts. It responds to consistency. Each repetition acts like another layer of paint added to a canvas, making the image clearer and more vivid. Choose a gesture that feels natural and can be used anywhere without attracting attention. You may want to use it before an important conversation, during an examination, before stepping onto a stage, or whenever uncertainty begins to appear. If the gesture is awkward or difficult to perform, you may hesitate to use it in moments when you truly need it. Simplicity removes resistance and allows the process to become effortless. Once you have selected your gesture, make a commitment to keep it exclusively connected to empowering emotions. Do not use it absent-mindedly throughout the day. Avoid performing it while feeling frustrated, discouraged, or angry. You are training your subconscious mind, and every repetition matters. The clearer the association becomes, the more reliably your mind will respond when you activate the gesture in the future. Many people underestimate the importance of this step because they expect transformation to come from grand actions and dramatic breakthroughs. Yet some of the most profound changes begin with the smallest decisions. A tiny movement of the fingers can eventually become a doorway to confidence. A gentle touch on the wrist can become a reminder of inner peace. What starts as an ordinary gesture gradually develops into a powerful signal that tells your subconscious mind exactly which emotional state to produce. Over time, this physical action stops being merely a movement and becomes a key. It unlocks memories of strength, awakens feelings of certainty, and reminds you that you possess far greater control over your inner world than you once believed. The gesture remains the same, but the person using it begins to change because the mind has learned to recognize it as an invitation to return to its highest and most resourceful state. Most people spend their entire lives living on the surface of their minds. From the moment they wake up, their attention is pulled in every direction. Notifications demand their focus, responsibilities compete for their energy, and endless streams of information keep their thoughts racing from one subject to another. They become so accustomed to mental noise that silence begins to feel uncomfortable. Yet beneath this constant activity lies another level of awareness, a quieter and more receptive state where the subconscious mind becomes more open to suggestion and change. This deeper state cannot be reached through force. The harder you try to relax, the more tension you often create. Relaxation is not something you achieve by struggling. It is something you allow to happen by gently releasing the need to control every thought. The mind functions much like a lake. When the water is disturbed, it becomes impossible to see what lies beneath the surface. But when the water grows still, clarity naturally appears. In the same way, when mental activity slows down, access to deeper levels of awareness becomes easier. Begin by finding a comfortable position where your body can remain still for a few minutes. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath. Hold it briefly, then release it gently. As you breathe out, imagine that any unnecessary tension is leaving your body. Feel your forehead becoming smooth and relaxed. Allow the muscles around your eyes to soften. Let your jaw loosen and your shoulders drop. Continue breathing slowly and naturally, giving yourself permission to let go of any pressure to perform or accomplish something. As your body relaxes, your thoughts may continue moving from one idea to another. This is perfectly natural. Do not fight them and do not become frustrated. Simply observe them as if they were clouds drifting across the sky. A thought appears, remains for a moment, and then passes away. You do not need to follow it. You do not need to analyze it. You only need to notice it and gently bring your attention back to your breathing. With each breath, imagine yourself moving further away from the noise of daily life. Picture yourself walking down a peaceful path, descending a staircase, or floating on calm water. Choose any image that creates a sense of safety and comfort within you. The purpose is not to escape reality, but to create a mental environment where your subconscious mind can receive new instructions without resistance. In this relaxed condition, the critical and analytical part of the mind becomes quieter. Old doubts lose some of their strength. Worries about what happened yesterday or what might happen tomorrow begin to fade into the background. What remains is a feeling of presence and openness. This is the ideal state for planting new ideas because the subconscious mind responds most effectively when the body is calm and the mind is receptive. Many people search outside themselves for answers, guidance, and confidence, never realizing that some of their greatest resources already exist within them. By learning to enter this peaceful state regularly, you begin developing a relationship with your inner world. You discover that beneath the stress, beneath the fear, and beneath the endless mental chatter, there is a place of quiet strength waiting to be accessed whenever you choose to return to it. Once your body is relaxed and your mind has become calm and receptive, you are ready to begin one of the most important parts of this process. This is the moment when you deliberately choose the emotional experiences that you want your subconscious mind to reproduce in the future. Many people spend years feeding their minds with memories of failure, disappointment, embarrassment, and regret. They replay painful moments so often that these experiences begin shaping their expectations about what is possible. Eventually, they stop responding to the present moment and start reacting to old emotional patterns that have become deeply familiar. The subconscious mind does not carefully evaluate whether an experience is helping you or harming you. It simply responds to what is impressed upon it with enough emotion and repetition. This is why some individuals remain trapped in cycles of self-doubt even when opportunities appear before them. Their minds have become conditioned to expect struggle, rejection, or defeat. To change this pattern, you must provide your subconscious mind with new emotional experiences that are strong enough to compete with the old ones. Begin by choosing a memory that represents a time when you felt successful, appreciated, peaceful, or completely certain about yourself. It does not need to be a dramatic achievement. Perhaps someone sincerely thanked you for helping them. Maybe you completed a task that once seemed difficult. It could even be a simple moment when you felt genuinely happy and connected to the people around you. The subconscious mind responds to emotional intensity, not to the size of the event itself. Allow yourself to step back into that memory as though it is happening right now. Do not observe it from a distance. Experience it from within your own eyes. Notice every detail that you can remember. See the colors around you. Pay attention to the expressions on people's faces. Hear the sounds in the environment. Listen to the words that were spoken. Feel the atmosphere that surrounded you at that moment. Most importantly, focus on the emotions that filled your heart during that experience. Feel the confidence that came naturally. Feel the sense of accomplishment. Feel the gratitude, the excitement, and the peace. Let those emotions grow stronger with each passing second. Imagine them spreading through your entire body like warm sunlight, reaching every corner of your being. Allow yourself to enjoy the experience without questioning whether you deserve it or whether it will last. If you cannot think of a memory powerful enough to inspire you, create one. Imagine yourself achieving a goal that means a great deal to you. Picture yourself speaking with confidence, receiving good news, overcoming a challenge, or living the life you have always desired. The subconscious mind responds remarkably well to vivid imagination. When an imagined experience is filled with genuine emotion, the mind begins accepting it as a meaningful reality. The more often you practice generating these uplifting feelings, the more familiar they become. Instead of allowing fear to dominate your internal world, you begin training yourself to recognize confidence as a natural state. Instead of waiting for external circumstances to make you feel successful, you learn to create the emotional foundation of success from within, giving your subconscious mind a new blueprint to follow as it guides your thoughts, decisions, and actions toward a different future. Creating an anchor is only the beginning. Its true power is revealed when it becomes part of your daily life. Many people experience a brief moment of inspiration, practice a technique once or twice, and then abandon it because they do not see immediate results. They expect transformation to happen overnight, forgetting that the subconscious mind develops new patterns through steady repetition. Just as a musician masters an instrument through practice and an athlete strengthens muscles through consistent training, your mind also becomes stronger and more responsive when it is exercised regularly. Every day presents situations that challenge your emotional balance. You may wake up feeling unmotivated. You may receive unexpected news that creates worry. You may face criticism, pressure, uncertainty, or moments when old habits try to regain control. These are not signs that your efforts are failing. They are opportunities to use the anchor and reinforce the new mental program you are creating. Begin each morning by taking a few quiet moments for yourself. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and return to the relaxed state you have learned to enter. Recall the positive memories or imagined experiences that fill you with confidence, gratitude, and determination. Allow those emotions to become vivid and intense. As they reach their peak, activate your chosen gesture. Hold it for several seconds while fully experiencing the feelings flowing through your body. Repeat this process several times so that the connection between the gesture and the emotional state becomes stronger. During the day, use the anchor whenever you notice tension beginning to appear. Perhaps you are about to enter an important meeting. Maybe you are preparing for an examination, speaking with someone who intimidates you, or facing a difficult decision. Instead of allowing anxiety to take control, pause for a moment and perform the gesture. Do not wonder whether it will work. Simply trust the training you have given your mind. Allow yourself to breathe deeply and remember the feelings associated with your anchor. At first, the change may seem subtle. You might notice only a slight sense of calmness or a small increase in focus. This is perfectly normal. The subconscious mind strengthens associations gradually. Each time you use the anchor successfully, you add another layer to the connection. Over days and weeks, the response becomes faster and more automatic. What once required effort begins happening naturally. The gesture itself becomes a reminder that you possess resources within you that are greater than any temporary challenge. There may be moments when you forget to use your anchor or when negative emotions seem stronger than expected. Do not criticize yourself. Self-judgment only reinforces the very patterns you are trying to change. Simply return to the practice. Continue activating the gesture during positive emotional experiences. Continue using it during moments of uncertainty. Consistency matters far more than perfection. Eventually, you will discover that situations which once overwhelmed you no longer have the same power. Challenges remain, but your response changes. You begin carrying a sense of stability within you. Instead of waiting for ideal circumstances before feeling confident, peaceful, or motivated, you learn to access those states whenever they are needed. The anchor stops being a technique you practice and becomes a natural part of the person you are becoming, quietly guiding you back to your strongest and most resourceful self whenever life tests your resolve. The greatest mistake people make when trying to transform their lives is believing that change happens in a single moment. They imagine that one inspiring book, one motivational speech, or one powerful experience will permanently alter the course of their future. While moments of insight can certainly awaken a new desire within us, lasting transformation is usually the result of small actions repeated until they become part of our identity. A temporary feeling can inspire you, but a consistent habit can redefine who you are. For years, many individuals carry an image of themselves that was created by past failures, criticism, disappointments, and limiting beliefs. They begin introducing themselves to the world through that outdated image. They say they are shy, anxious, unlucky, or incapable, not realizing that these descriptions are often reflections of old experiences rather than permanent truths. Over time, they stop questioning these labels because they have repeated them so often that they begin to feel like facts. The subconscious mind accepts whatever is repeatedly presented to it. If you continue telling yourself that you lack confidence, your actions will eventually align with that belief. If you constantly expect rejection, hesitation will appear whenever opportunities arise. Thoughts influence emotions, emotions influence actions, and actions gradually create results. When those results seem to confirm old beliefs, the cycle continues. Breaking this cycle requires more than positive thinking. It requires creating a new self-image and reinforcing it until it feels completely natural. This is where daily practice becomes so important. Every time you enter a relaxed state, relive empowering experiences, and activate your anchor, you are doing more than producing a temporary emotion. You are teaching your subconscious mind a new definition of who you are. You are introducing yourself to a version of yourself that already possesses calmness, determination, discipline, and inner strength. At first, this version may seem unfamiliar, almost as if you are pretending to be someone else. That feeling is normal because the mind prefers what is familiar. Even when what is familiar no longer serves you, with repetition, something remarkable begins to happen. The qualities you once had to consciously create start appearing on their own. You notice yourself speaking with greater certainty. You make decisions more quickly. You recover from setbacks without remaining discouraged for long periods. Situations that once triggered fear begin to feel manageable. People around you may notice the difference before you do. They may comment that you seem more relaxed, more focused, or more optimistic. What they are witnessing is not an act. They are seeing the emergence of a new identity that has been quietly developing through consistent mental conditioning. There will still be difficult days. There will still be moments when old thoughts attempt to return. Transformation does not mean becoming immune to challenges. It means refusing to allow temporary emotions to define your future. Instead of seeing setbacks as proof that you have failed, you begin viewing them as reminders to return to your practice and strengthen the habits that support the person you are becoming. Eventually, confidence is no longer something you search for because it has become part of your character. Peace is no longer dependent on circumstances because it has become an internal resource. Success is no longer a distant possibility because your thoughts, emotions, and actions have gradually aligned with the life you intend to create, allowing you to move forward with the certainty that the person you once hoped to become is now the person you are learning to live as each day.